What is up, guys? I am at the Plymouth, New Hampshire skate park. I came out here at 7 a.m. this morning to just get an early morning session in. Rather than push-ups and sit-ups at the house, I figured I'd drive the half-hour drive north and come to the skate park. It's a real small skate park, and it fills up real fast with just a few kids here. And right now, it's end of July, and especially with the pandemic going on, nobody's at the local college. So early mornings, I figured would be a good time to get here. And I've been here for 2.5 hours now, maybe. I didn't expect to do an episode of this session, but once I got here and got warmed up, I started filming a few clips that I've done here before. And then as I got more warmed up, I started to do more tricks that I've never done here before. I had my camera with me, so I decided to start filming a few clips just for Instagram or something. And then the more clips that came together and the warmer I got, I decided to do a few more tricks and make a little YouTube episode out of it. Okay, so I'm back to my house. Just as I started to do some monologue, a few kids showed up to skate, and yeah, that usually throws my rhythm off. So I just decided to head home. Got coffee number 2 on the way home. And yeah, so basically I just wanted to go up there and get a morning session in. And as the session got going, decided to film some clips, then decided to make a little edit out of it. There is a really steep, like 5-foot quarter pipe there that has always been challenging for toothpick stalls. And I was there back a couple weeks ago and actually did one, and it took me a while to get it. And it was probably like the best toothpick I'd ever done. It was like real steep. I hung there for a little bit and then rolled in. So today I decided I'd film one. Well, it took me forever. It's a really difficult quarter pipe to ride. It's real steep and it's real short. So it's in a real aggressive transition. And a lot of skaters ride it. So the coping is waxed really, really well. So when you drop into a toothpick straight up and down, it slides real easily. So it's real difficult to get the toothpick stall to stick. So sometimes you'll either slide out and drop your rear peg, or you'll slide out from under yourself and really get caught. I had a couple that were really quite scary. Sometimes you'll get your front tire up onto the deck rather than inside the transition and get your peg on the coping, so that can get scary sometimes. So that one really took me a while to pull. Finally got one. Super excited about that. Oh my God. Oh. Then I messed around on this really cool grind ledge that's there. It's pretty long, which is awesome. So it gives you some like variation options. And there's a little curb-sized pad off one side at the end of it. So you can do some manual tricks over to the grind ledge, or the grind ledge to the little manual pad. And that's waxed up real well too. So that's real fun to do different variations on. So I started messing with a few different tricks. I ran a free coaster hub back in 2002, years ago. I started riding in about 2001, but had already learned like half cabs, cab 360s, and even cab 540s by 2002. And free coasters really weren't a big thing in street riding. There was really only a couple guys like John Engelbert, Lucky, and boy, I don't even know who else off the top of my head is riding a free coaster that rode street. But Standard Country was one of the first BMX videos I ever bought, and watching Lucky's parts, you know, he rode front and rear brakes. I was riding brakeless, but watching a guy do street tricks with a free coaster just was so cool looking. So I bought a free coaster wheel, and it was a Haro Turbine free coaster flatland hub with a radial laced rim that weighed more than my bike. And I thought it was going to make fakie tricks easier. And because there weren't a lot of other guys riding free coasters on street, I didn't really realize that it really kind of made it more difficult. And I'd learned fakie crank flips, fakie bar spins, and a few other things with the free coaster. But having already learned other cab tricks with a cassette, I basically didn't ride the free coaster that long. It was super heavy, and riding brakeless and having play in your pedals while you're rolling backwards really kind of made things more difficult. So I went back to a cassette, and I rode a cassette basically all the way through my BMX career, right on from 2003 all the way through 2012 or 13 maybe, when a friend of mine traded me a newer free coaster wheel for a 6-pack of root beer. So after I stopped riding full time and kind of started putting around on my bike a little bit more in like 2013 or so, I put a free coaster back on to just kind of learn some tricks again with a free coaster. So since I've put a free coaster back on, I am now on a Profile Z coaster, which is Chad DeGroot's signature free coaster hub. And I've been on that hub for the last couple of years now, and last year's when I really started riding a little bit more. This spring's when I've been riding every single weekend. But all along the last couple of years with that Z coaster, half cab bar spins have really been beating me up mentally. I never ever did a half cab bar spin with a free coaster, ever. But I used to half cab bar spin all sorts of stuff with a cassette. And I used to do it downstairs, into banks, up curbs, all that sort of stuff. So the last couple of years, I haven't even had the balls to throw the bars in a half cab with a free coaster. And that's really, really, really aggravated me. Every now and then I'll start a session and I'll really get into it, and I'll just half cab for what seems like hours, and I'll never throw the bars. And it's been the worst mental battle for me. So today at Plymouth, there's a tiny little like 45-degree wedge hip there. And I started doing 180s right before I'm rolling up it backwards and doing some half cabs over it. And immediately I got the itch. I was like, I'm going to throw a half cab bar spin over this. I'm going to do it. Today's the day. Well, I tried that stupid trick for what felt like a solid hour, and just half cab, half cab, half cab, half cab, half cab. Didn't throw the bars, didn't throw the bars, didn't throw the bars. Get a good half cab, didn't throw the bars. Get a sloppy half cab, okay, didn't throw the bars. So finally, I just threw the bars. And the first time I threw the bars, I landed it. It's like, this was the victory of the day today. Like, if I don't do anything else today, that was the victory. I feel so good. I finally broke that mental barrier down and did a half cab bar spin with a free coaster. I still want to put a cassette back on my bike to get some of the old cab tricks back, but it felt so good to finally throw the bars and do a half cab bar spin with a free coaster. So yeah, that's basically it for this episode. Just a quick little morning session up at the Plymouth, New Hampshire Skatepark. And it's been a thing that I've been doing recently. I've been going either late at night, which sometimes there'll be one or two people still there, but I think I'm going to start going more in the early mornings to just get a solo session in, just for the exercise and for working on some tech tricks. So that's going to do it for this quick, short little BMX episode. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.